everyone. So today's video is so extremely special to me and so close to my heart. I do want to give you a little backstory as to why I'm sharing it, and also introduce you all to Roshni, who is actually a subscriber of mine. And Roshni and I connected via Instagram, and she applied to be an intern of mine a few months ago. She actually ended up working on my team, and even after we parted ways, we always kept in touch via Instagram. And one day, a few months later, I was just like casually scrolling through my feed, and I saw a picture of her pop up on my feed, and I reached out to her immediately, and that's when she told me that she has breast cancer. Roshni is 23 years old. I was so extremely shocked, and of course we started talking a little bit more, and she opened up about her journey. We met up recently for coffee, and then she really told me all about her story. I am so inspired by Roshni. It's unreal. This is such a brave young woman and dealing with so much at such a young age, and she is just doing it so well. And I just knew I wanted to share her story on my platform, on my channel. And our hopes with this video is just to help even one person out there. And of course, to raise awareness for breast cancer, especially amongst young women. Because like I said, Roshni is only 23 years old. She actually also told me when we were talking over coffee that one of the things that really helped her through chemotherapy was watching people like me and other girls on YouTube and Instagram talk about makeup. And then she would go home and put a little bit of blush and lipstick and just felt like herself. And that is the beauty of makeup. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, we have to incorporate some sort of beauty, tutorial or something in this video. So I decided to kind of do her makeup that I'm also going to be sharing in this video. But this video is more than makeup. This is about a young woman dealing with so much at such a young age and just being so extremely brave and an inspiration to all of us. One last thing before we get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to MAC for letting me use their resources and letting me shoot in their MAC Soho store, as well as all the makeup. You guys know I used to work at MAC, so I'm really familiar with their makeup, and I just feel most comfortable using MAC makeup on any of my clients when I used to do makeup. So I reached out to them and they totally agreed to be part of this video. But that being said, this video is not sponsored by MAC or any other brands in any way. I just want to make that very clear. We are just filming in their space and using their makeup, and they were so kind enough to gift all of the makeup to Roshni as well, which I know made her so happy. So without further ado, I don't want to keep this introduction to be any longer. We're gonna cut right into Roshni, and I know you guys are going to fall in love with her. She's amazing, and here is her story.
So I felt a lump. I was just like, you just kind of like feel your body, and then I found the lump like underneath my left breast, and I felt like it was hard. But to me, in my head, I was just like, oh, it's just like, breast tissue, like something like, because at 22, you're just like, you don't imagine that it's cancer.
Right. You don't even think about that.
That's not the first thing that came to my head. It was like, oh, like it's just floating breast tissue. I like made something up in my head. But then one day after work, I like went to go take a shower, and I like, took off my bra, and I just saw like blood in my bra. Like, okay, that's like, I need to go check this out. I made an appointment for the OBGYN, and I got a sonogram, and I got a biopsy, a needle biopsy. From the needle biopsy, she took 3 samples. I thought I was only gonna have 1 because of the 1 lump here, but when she went in, she noticed that I had 3 lumps instead of just 1. Mm-hmm. And as soon as she took a sample of my armpit, I realized, like, in my head, I was just like, okay, like, you could possibly get diagnosed with cancer. Mm-hmm. It was also just like, when you're in that moment, you're like, I don't know what to think, like, what is happening? After the biopsy, I went home and just iced and just watched TV to just get my mind off of things. Mm-hmm. Then my OBGYN called me Thursday night to come in on Friday, and then I get called into the room, and I go to sit on the examining table, because that's where you usually sit when you go into the doctor. Mm-hmm. And she asked me, she's like, don't sit there, and she gave me one of these chairs to sit on. And so I'm sitting directly across from her, and she's like, her lip is like quivering, and she's just like, I don't know how to tell you this. And she just kept repeating herself, and she's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have breast cancer. And like, when something like that happens, like something so traumatic is being told to you, you just like, for me, I just instantly like just froze. But also like it was a fight or flight situation for me. It was just like, okay, I just got diagnosed with breast cancer. Yes, I'm upset, but like what, I need to do something about it. Like I just knew like I need to do something about it.
So can you tell me which type of breast cancer you have? Because I actually didn't know that there were multiple types of breast cancer.
Right, yeah, neither did I. Like I just thought, you know, you just get diagnosed with breast cancer and that's it. So I got diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, but with triple negative, it accounts for 10 to 20% of breast cancer diagnosis, and it's commonly diagnosed with for women under the age of 40.
What treatments are you getting now?
So my oncologist recommended that I do 2 types of chemotherapy treatments for 5 months. So middle of May, I started with AC, the Red Devil, because it's like red liquid. So and the after effects of it, it's like kind of rough.
Can you explain some?
Yeah. So after my first treatment, I didn't know what to expect. I just couldn't open my eyelids. Like I was just so tired that like I would like try to like step outside or something, and I just like would want to fall asleep, or I would wake up and I would feel so nauseous. I've never felt so nauseous in my entire life, and I just felt like I couldn't do anything.
Did you have a lot of support from your family and friends? Like, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I know, going back to what you said earlier, it's so important to have that support.
Thankfully, like both my parents have like supported me. Like my mom comes and she makes me smoothies, and she's just like makes me food because that's the type of person she is. Like she's just a typical brown mom.
Yeah, she is.
My dad too, like he's been very helpful, anything I need. Also like my amazing boyfriend, like he was the one who was taking care of me after my first treatment. My cousin and her husband, who have helped me so much, Kunwar and Sonam. She called her husband, who's a resident at Mount Sinai. He got all of my information and emailed it to his team at Mount Sinai and just got me in with the best oncologist and breast surgeon in New York. And I'm so grateful for that. It's just so hard because like you're going through this at such a young age, you feel so alone. And I ended up telling one of my friends this, like, I feel so alone, like, I have no one to connect you. And she told me, like, I used to intern for someone who also went through breast cancer, and so she gave me her number. Her name is Liz McCary. Liz has helped me a lot throughout my chemotherapy treatment. As soon as I texted her and said that I was starting chemotherapy, in about 2 weeks, she gave me a whole list of things that I should, like, be mindful of, ask my doctors about. She's just like a cancer Bible, basically. She's basically answered all my questions throughout this. I talk to her every day. I talk to her about cancer, we talk about work, we talk about all these different types of things. It's just so nice to like talk to someone who understands. And
not feel so alone. When we met over coffee, you told me that during your chemotherapy sessions, you were watching girls on YouTube and Instagram just do their makeup, and that really helped you. Do you want to talk a little bit about how beauty helped you this tough time?
Right, because with chemotherapy, it takes away so much, like it takes away your hair, your eyebrows, your hairs on your face, your hairs in your nose. It just deconstructs you as a person. Like I look totally different from now from what I looked like in May. And with beauty, like you can help like recreate like what you look like, and you know, just make yourself feel pretty. Like there's nothing wrong with like feeling pretty.
Of course.
Just like with a nice shade of lipstick or whatever. It's just like every morning I look at myself in the mirror and I'm starting to recognize the person that I'm looking at, but like it's so different to me. And the fact that like I just have like full eyebrows right now, it's just like it's just comforting.
Do you also want to give any specific breast cancer awareness organizations that you would like me to include as well? I know you told me about a few.
Yeah, Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Another great organization is the Breasties. They started this great community where they help bring cancer patients, their caregivers on retreat. One last organization is Chick Mission. So one thing that I had to do with my treatment plan is I had to freeze my eggs before I started chemo.
Wow.
As a preventative in case, like, once I'm done with chemo, that I can, like, have children. And I didn't know this, but most health insurance policies don't cover that because technically you're not infertile until after chemo. I'm just so happy that they paid for my entire fertility treatment.
That's amazing.
It's just so nice of them to do that.
That's amazing. I'm going to link all of the organizations that Roshni mentioned in the description box below, and maybe we can think of a few more that you love, and then I'll be sure to link those below as well. All right, Roshni, well, thank you so much for being on my channel and letting me do your makeup.
Thank you.
And most importantly, of course, sharing your story.
No, thank you for giving me this platform. I just want young women out there to know, like, if you feel something wrong with your body, advocate for yourself because you're the only person that knows.
We'll also go ahead and link some videos below on how to properly check yourself and examine yourself and a few other resources. But thank you so much for being on my channel.
Thank you, Arshia.
Thank you.